There's a fascinating Gemara in Maseches Yevomis, page 65b, Samach Hayam Beis. Omer Rabbi Loi Mishum Rabbi Lazar Rab Shimon Mutter Loi La'adam L'shanois Bidavar Hashalom. Rabbi Loi says in the name of Rabbi Shimon, it is permissible for somebody to change, literally, to change the truth, to alter the truth.
We speak about that today.
Mipnei Hashalom. Bidavar Hashalom, it says. For peace, for the sake of peace. Shenamar, what's the proof? V'yitzavu al Yosef lemor. After the Yaakov Avinu had died, so the brothers approached Yosef, and they had fear in their voices as they said, Avicha tziva lifnei moitzoi lemor. Your father commanded before he died, saying, Ko yisomru li Yosef. So you shall say to Yosef, Ona, Sana, Pesha Achecha, V'chatasam kira gemalucha. Please forgive the sins of your brother and their sins. Kira gemalucha. Because bad you shouldn't do to them. Ve'ata sana lepesha avdei elokei avicha v'yif Yosef v'davram elav. Yosef cried as they said, and they kind of implied that now that Yaakov Avinu had died, he would somehow take a nekama on the brothers for selling him to Mitzrayim. And Yosef cried as they accused him. Says Rashi, Yaakov lo tziva. Yaakov didn't command them before they died to come to Yosef and beg for his forgiveness. He wasn't choshed. He wasn't suspicious that Yosef HaTzadik, the Melech of Mitzrayim, would still bear a grudge against his siblings. Elohim Shinu. They mistold. Mipnei Hashalom. For the sake of peace. If they would say, in the name of the brother, of his father, Yaakov Avinu, perhaps Yosef would listen. Says the Gemara further. Rab Nosson Omer. Rab Nosson says, not only is it permitted, mitzvah. It's a mitzvah. Al Adam Loimar Dover. Mitzvah. Shenemar Vayomer Shmuel. Shmuel says, Ich elech v'shama shol v'hargeni. What happened? After Shaul went to war with Agag Melech Molech and the entire kingdom of Amalek, and he defeated them. He transgressed one of the commandments of Hashem through the prophet Shmuel, which was that he must destroy them all.
Completely.
And he didn't. He left the king, the son, Bakar, the women, and Agag Melech Amalek.
Oh boy, that wasn't good.
And Shmuel told Shaul the bad news.
It has to be out.
V'Hashem nicham ki himlach es Shaul al Yisrael. He would no longer be king, and nor his children. Vayomer Hashem el Shmuel Perek Tez Zayin, and Shmuel Aleph begins. Ad Mosai Ata Misabel al Shaul. Why are you mourning the loss of the kingdom of the Beis Shaul? Go, Malek Karnecha Shemen, fill up a horn of oil, V'leich Eshlochachal Yishai Beis Halachmi, and I'm going to send you to Beis Yishai, the family of Yishai. Ki Ra'isi Bibonav Li Melech, because one of his children is suitable to be the king. V'yomer Shmuel, and Shmuel says, Eich Elech, how can I go? V'shama Shaul v'harageni, Shaul will surely hear this and he'll kill me. V'yomer Hashem, Eglas bokar tikach biyodecha. Why don't you take for yourself an eglas bokar? V'amarta lizbach basi. And you'll say that I came to shecht a korban. So commands Hashem Shmuel to do.
Tell him to lie.
Says Rashi, V'ksiv v'yomer Hashem eglas bokar tikach biyodecha v'yarom lizboyach HaKadosh Baruch Hu tzivo l'shanos.
Yeah.
HaKadosh Baruch Hu told Shmuel to misspeak. So it's a mitzvah, right? If Hashem tells somebody to do something, it's a mitzvah. That's Rav Noson's answer. So we have one source which was cited by Rabbi Lov, Rabbi Shimon, which is from Yosef's brothers when they came to him after Yaakov died. The second source, which says not only is it mutter permitted, it's a mitzvah because Hashem commanded Shmuel to take korbanos with him so that he could tell people that he was going to shech the korban rather than admit that he was actually on a mission from God to anoint a new king.
The first Blues Brothers. And then there's this week.
Devei Rabbi Yishmael Tana, Godel Hashalim. Says Devei Rabbi Yishmael, peace is great. Shafa Kadosh Baruch Hu Shina Boy. Because even Hashem, Kaviyochol, misspoke for the sake of peace. Demei Koro Ksiv. In the beginning it states, Ve'adoini Zokein. What's the pasuk from this week's parsha? Vatitzchak Sarah bikirba lemor. Sarah laughed inside, saying, Acharei baloisi haisa li edna vadoini zakein. How could it be that after I became an old lady and I don't have the koach to be molid to give birth anymore? Haisali Edna, and now I'm a young woman who can give birth, but my husband is old, and he certainly won't have that koach, that strength. Why is Sarah laughing, saying, Ha'af, 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 Umnam Eleid Va'aniza Kanti. How could it be that I'm going to give birth? I am old. What do you mean? That's not what Sarah said. She said, Va'adoni Zakein. My husband is old. And the way when Hashem repeated it to Avram, because of the Shalom, he was Mishaneh. And he said, Va'ani Zakanti.
How is that possible?
So Sarah will always have a Muna, but it's not because she cannot have the baby, it's because Abraham is too old, right?
Well, it's hard to understand.
That's what Hashem said to Sarah.
Huh?
That's what Hashem said to Sarah, that he's old.
No, she's old. Hashem said this. Oh yeah. No, not Hashem, but no. Hashem said to Abraham. Hashem said to Abraham, "Oh, she said that she's too old to have a kid." She didn't say she's young and you're old.
The Magen Avram in Siman Kuf Nun Vav of the Shulchan Aruch, called Hilchos Derech Eretz. One Siman Shulchan Aruch talks about what do you do after Tefillah. You go out to work.
Well, you should first go to learning. You first have breakfast, then you go out to learn, and then you go to work.
Yeah. So there's a fascinating Magen Avram over here.
You said, oh, Magen Avraham? You said?
Magen Avraham on the Shulchan Aruch, Siman Kuf Nun Vav.
Got it.
Speaks about all of the, the midos tovos and things, the midos that a person shouldn't do and should do. Very worthwhile Magen Avram to see. Talks about Lashon Hara. And he also talks about...
Do you want me to get the bigger Gemara?
No,
to read?
it's okay.
Okay.
I'm just trying to find it. And he also talks about Sheker. And he says as follows. He says, as far Whoa. Zzz.
It's there.
It's here. Bear with me.
Don't worry.
Had mutter lishanos mipnei hashalom. I'll just underline it so I find that next time. That which it's mutter to be meshana mipnei hashalom. Hainu bidavar shekvar ovar. That's only for something that already happened. V'loi Bilahaba.
That's coming up.
But not for the future. Sefer Chasidim, Simen Tov Chof Vav. The Sefer HaChasidim writes, that which it's mutter to be Meshana Mipnei HaShalom, Gemara said, it's mutter to misspeak because of Shalom, is only B'Shala Avar, and not Bilahaba. When the Mishnah Berurah quotes this halacha, he says, V'tzorech iyun. Why?
Because
why should that be true?
Because what Hashem told with Shmuel.
What did Hashem tell Shmuel?
He said, go bring a bucker, so that he won't get upset with you.
Oh.
So that hasn't happened yet. That's coming up.
So the Pri Megadim asks a Gevaldige Kasha. That's what you meant to say, right?
Yeah.
Question, not
the Pri Megadim, right? Asks the Gevaldige Kasha on that.
What's the Gevaldige question that the Pri Megadim asks? The Pri Megadim asks that L'choira, when Shmuel went up, Hashem told him to be Meshane.
Yeah, Meshane.
To misspeak.
In the future.
So how could the Sefer HaChasidim say that which is mutter to misspeak is only to misspeak on things that happened in the past? L'choira, it's muchach from the Gemara, not that way. Ask him.
So what is it? How do they?
Do you agree?
Well, it's on surface value that looks that way. What's the commentary showing Sefer Hasidim there? Because it's a very kasha Sefer Hasidim. It's a shver. It's very shver. How does Sefer Hasidim say that when it clearly contradicts?
Why does it contradict the Gemara?
It contradicts him in the Gemara, the Navi.
Well, okay, fine.
It's a very obvious.
What's the contradiction?
The past versus the future.
That's right.
Yeah.
Is it the future? Or
He says you can't mishana the future, and yet Hashem just told him to do that.
In Navi, he's saying you can do a so-called white lie, whatever.
Misspeak.
Misspeak. Let's call it a misspeak.
Okay, fine.
But the past is okay.
But what we've just heard now is that it's okay to do it for the past.
Yeah, but Hashem says for the future.
Hashem says the future, then V'yim say
the past.
For the past. I'll take Hashem.
It's your vote?
Yeah, that's my vote.
Wow.
So why did the V'yim contradict Hashem?
Umashakos the mutter lishanos.
Yeah.
Ayin el Yerabah.
And what does he say?
Meseches Yevamis. Samach Hey. Lizboach. Asidhu. Lizboach is in the future. Yeah. And he's telling him that he's allowed to lie. Ayin Sham. Va'ayin b'marsha.
What's the marsha say?
Va'ayin b'marsha. So let's see the marsha. Let me just mark it down over here so that I won't lose it again. Let's see the marsha. What does the marsha say?
The marsha, yeah.
I didn't bring the marsha.
Do you want me to get the marsha?
No, that's fine. Let's see what the marsha says. The marsha says asks a question from the Gemara in Yevamos, Daf Samach Gimel.
Oh, two pages earlier.
Daf Samach Gimel, just 2 pages earlier. The Gemara in Yevamos, 2 pages earlier, says as follows. There's a nice story over here. Rav Havaka Mitzara, well, a nice story, okay, depends how you look at it. Rav Havaka Mitzara le Davitu. Rav's wife used to cause him a lot of suffering. Ki Amar La Avidi li Tlufchai. If he said, can you make me spaghetti and meatballs? Avdolei Chimtzi. She used to make him burgers. Chimtzi, when he said, I want some burgers.
Meatballs.
Avdolei Tlufchai. She would make meatballs.
Spaghetti and meatballs.
Ki Gadol Chiyah Berei. When Chiyah, their child, their son, grew up, Apichla, he was a smart kid. So what did he do? When he knew that Rav wanted burgers, he said, "Can we have some meatballs tonight?" And she made
have to ask.
And she made
burgers. And when he knew that Rav wanted burgers,
he wanted meatballs. He asked for
burgers. And she gets meatballs. Apichla.
Wow.
He flipped it around. Omer lei, Iyalalach imach. He said, look, your mother is getting better. Look, your mother, she's actually, I asked for meatballs and I got meatballs. Omer lei,
Bingo.
I know who the ka'apichna lei. No. I switched it up. Omer lei, hainu de ka'omri inchi, dinafik minach taima, v'dinafik minach taima milapach, at loy savid hachi. He says that sometimes dinafik minach, the child that comes out of you, taima milapach, meaning he's smarter than you. Right? What comes out of you is smarter than you. But you're still not allowed to do it. Shnamar, and sometimes the kids are smarter. But in this case, don't think you're so smart. Shnamar limdu lishoinam davar sheker. Make sure it's the Navi Yirmiyah. V'ish b're'ehu yaselu. Each person to his friends would make fun. V'emes or would speak lies. V'emes lo yidaberu.
The truth.
They would not speak the truth. Limdu l'shaymam daber sheker. They taught their mouths to speak falsehoods. Ha'avei nilu. Crookedness was there. They began. Ha'avei nilu. That was their
path.
That was their path. That was their mitzvahs. So he quotes this pasuk in Yirmiyah and he says, nevertheless, it's asur. So can you guess what the Marsha asks? What's the Marsha's question?
Well, how could you say
the Marsha says, why does Rav say to his son Chia that you're not allowed to lie?
We got all these 3 cases.
Hashem
lied.
It's muter l'shanos b'shnei shalom. One can misspeak for shalom.
Yeah.
And for the Divrei Shul, the Divrei Shul answers the question and says, Hiksha amar shah dahamutu l'shanos mibnei darkei shalom. V'kvar kasafti b'zeh ke'es nira ayin mashakasu b'sefer chasidim huva b'magen Avram. What did the Magen Avram say in the name of the Sefer Chasidim?
He said that
the only time when the Gemara says that it's muter l'shanos is only ba'avar. Ba'atid, it's asur l'shanos even mipnei hashalom. So if he says to her, please
make me meatballs and I'm
meatballs and he really wants burgers,
that's l'shana ba'atid.
v'tzarech biur d'ma chiluk yesh b'zeh. What's the difference between lahaba and l'sha'avar? Okay, eis nira li al pi ma sheshamati mikchacham echad. Okay, let's leave that for a second.
Wow.
Right, so he's asking a question.
Yeah.
The Marsha says it's muter lifnei aviv l'shanos b'nei shalom. So he says this is a raya to the Sefer HaChasidim.
Yes, this is a raya to Sefer
The only
HaChasidim.
time it's muter l'shanos is
The avar.
the avar, but it's not muter l'shanos b'asid. So Rav says to his son, you're not allowed to continue to lie. You can lie about something that happens, but you can't lie about something that will be. You can't say Rav will prefer tonight meatballs if he won't. He'll prefer burgers. So you're not allowed to lie. What's the chiluk between l'sha'avar and la'asir? What's the chiluk? What's the difference?
The Bashavar, already passed. It happens. Bashatin, it's talui ba'Hashem.
But why should it be only permitted to lie? Obviously, what we're saying is that shalom is greater than the midah of shalom. To increase shalom is greater than emes.
Emes, yeah.
Unless.
But why is it
wait,
only
can we really
emes
say that, or is the real emes
avar,
shalom?
but not emes b'la'atid?
I beg to differ.
With the Sefer Hasidim?
No, with the definition. I would say the real shalom is only there. The real emes is only there when you have shalom. So
Okay.
it's really not a sheker.
Yeah, it's true. But let's focus on sheker for a second.
But you can also see the emet in the past, not in the future.
Let's see. Let's clear for a second.
Okay, we got a little clarified. We're going deeper.
What's the isser of sheker? What is the prohibition not to speak falsehood?
It says in the Torah.
Is the pshat midvar sheker tirchak that a person has to distance himself from lies? Because if a person says a lie,
Because
he causes something negative. Right? If you lie about something, you can cause something that's not true.
right, it's an
You can flip
instability.
something.
You're bringing into reality an
It's
instability.
a din bein adam lechavero.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the pshat? What you cause, midvar sheker tirchak. Just right. What does it say? Right.
Yeah.
It's right amongst all of the isurim. What does it say after midvar sheker tirchak in the Torah?
I know this. Yaakov knows. What is it? What comes after?
Midvar sheker tirchak.
Oh boy.
That's slipping my mind right now.
So it's same with me.
But it's in the parsha over there, bein adam lechavero.
Yes, in Bereshis Kedoshim.
Bein adam lechavero. You're not allowed to lie to somebody. You can't tell somebody the untruth. It causes him harm.
Yeah.
It causes a misunderstanding amongst people. You're not allowed to lie to somebody. Or does the pshat know? It's not a din of bein adam lechavero. It's a din, as the Navi Yirmiyah says, limdu l'shoinam davar shekar. You're not allowed to. A person is a person that's kadosh. It's emes. Chosam shel kadosh baruch hu emes. If you lie, you can. If you lie to yourself, standing in the middle of nowhere, it's also a lie. Not just to lie to someone. So perhaps one can say that that's the chiluk over here. Lying on the shit of our, lying on the sha'avar in a case where there's shalom at stake, so it's mutar l'shanas b'bnei shalom. Why? Because the only thing you're doing wrong is you're limdu l'shonam. You're saying a falsehood. But midvar sheker tirchak gets trumped because bein adam lechavero is that you should be mishanim b'pnei shalom. Shalom trumps sheker in the dinim of Bein Adam L'Chavero. Right?
Shalom is also a tikkun.
Shalom's higher in Bein Adam
A tikkun,
L'Chavero.
right?
That's why Bila Sha'avar, it's Mut L'Shanos B'Pnei HaShalom. But Bila Asid, to speak about the future in lies, where a person is margil l'shono l'daber sheker, right? And when you speak in the future, it's not about something that happened. It's an occurrence that happened. What you're doing is you're training yourself to speak falsehood. Then there's no heter l'shanos b'vnei HaShalom.
It's not shalom. You don't know it's shalom.
Right. In other words, like this. Let me explain it a little better. I didn't explain it properly. Where the isser of sheker is a bein adam l'chavero type of isser, then it's mutter l'shanos b'pnei HaShalom. Because shalom is more important, bein adam l'chavero, than emes.
Yeah.
But where
You make a vow and say.
where the sheker is more than bein adam l'chavero, it's training oneself to speak falsehood, then it wouldn't be mutter l'shanos b'pnei HaShalom. Sheker would trump shalom. If the isser of sheker is bein adam l'chaveroi, then shalom wins. If the isser of sheker is bein adam la'atzmoi, bein adam l'mokom, then sheker wins, and you wouldn't be allowed to speak falsehood. So if a person's speaking about a Maisa in the past,
It's a chavero.
it happened, it's a bein adam l'chavero. But when a person trains himself to speak to his mother and ask for the wrong thing, or he's going to talk about the future in a way that's lying, it gives way for a person to have to repeat the lie.
Yeah.
It's training you it's being margil l'shono. You're going to have to lie again before the thing happens, right? You're going to have to go and tell this person, that person. There's no end to it. So a person's mouth is going to have to become accustomed to lie.
It's like a snowball effect.
It's a chain reaction. Not just that, you have the
And
mindset.
that's not just a midvar sheker tirchak din of sheker. It's a limdu l'shoinam davar sheker din of sheker. There's two reasons why you can't lie. Number one is you can't lie because it's not right to lie to somebody. You're not allowed. The effect of lying is harmful to somebody else. But there's also situations where it's usher to lie because you're training yourself to lie, and that also is usher. So where it's only the bein adam l'chavero, that's where it's mutter l'shanos b'pnei HaShalom. But where it's also bein adam la'atzmo, where you become a liar, then it's not mutter anymore l'shanos b'pnei HaShalom. Okay, so now let's review a little bit. The Gemara by Rav.
But isn't the mother lying herself when she's being asked to make?
Okay, that's a kasha v'maisa, you know.
The meatballs, etc. She makes burgers all the time.
No, she's not lying.
Why? But she's avoiding what's being asked.
She's mitzvah the husband. She doesn't like him. He wasn't nice to her.
Well, we don't know that. You know, that's a shame the kid could have asked mom and says, "How can you making this?"
No, the question here is the question: who is mishaker now? He mishaker or he mishaker? Ishto mishaker in the bottom line.
I think
no,
so.
Ishto's lo mishaker.
Even if she's not lying, she's doing something. Why hasn't anybody asked the question of her if she's repeating this?
She doesn't want to give him what he wants.
You've never seen that with a wife? You've never seen that with a wife?
I'm sorry, is my wrong here? Pardon?
So, think about it for a second. Which pasuk does the Gemara in Samach Gimel, when it brings us this story of Rav, of Chia, the son of Rav, and the story of the burgies and the meatballs? Which pasuk does the Gemara say? The Gemara says the pasuk in Yirmiyah. Limdu l'shainam. Right, you can't train your mouth. In this case, he's going to be training his mouth, so he's not allowed to do it. By Shmuel, when Hashem told Shmuel that he's not allowed to bring the karbanos, when Hashem told Shmuel that he should go and bring the karbanos, he should and not say, right. So in that case,
then it's
actually the
Adam l'chaveiro.
Yeah, I believe that the Pri Megadim says, you know what happened?
Right.
He did bring the carbon. So the only lie was that he said
The reason
why he came was for the carbon. That was the only lie. That was Bishla Avar. A one-time lie. So this Gemara, which says Mutter L'Shanos or Mitzvah L'Shanos, is only Bishla Avar. Is only when it's Asr Mishum Midvar Sheker Tirchak. The Gemara on Daf Samach Gimel is speaking about where it's Asr Mishum Limdum L'Shan. What do we see from this sugya that we just learned? What do we see? We see that even Mipnei HaShalom, where it's mutter to lie, it's not mutter for a person to become a liar. It's only mutter to lie. To lie, it's a cheshbon of bein adam l'chavero. So, whatever, shalom trumps. But to become a liar, one cannot become. There's a Gemara in Bereshis, Daf Chav Ches, Amud Aleph. The Gemara says, it's famous Gemara, Amar Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah, Harei ani ben Shivim Shana, V'loi ben Shivim Shana. Right, he says, today I'm like I'm 70, I'm not 70.
Overnight.
Tana oisya yom silkuhu l'shomer ha-pesach.
Ages you.
Silkuhu l'shomer ha-pesach v'nat l'hem b'shus talmidim l'kanes. That day was a special day.
Yeah, they took
because they removed the guard away from the Beis Medrash. And they let anyone come in.
It's amazing how many people came in.
Shaya Rabbi Gamliel machris v'yomer. Rabbi Gamliel used to call out and say, Kol Talmud she'in toichal kebaro lo yikanes l'beis medrash. A Talmud whose toichai is not kebaro, his inside doesn't match his outside, is not allowed to come into the Beis Medrash. Okay, so Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah removed that thing, and tons of people came into the Beis Medrash. That's what the Gemara says. Rabbi Gamliel said that Kol Talmud she'im tochel kabaro is not allowed to come into the Beis Medrash. Why not? Okay, so not saying echad b'peh, echad b'leiv, saying one way with your mouth and another, but thinking bad in your heart. For sure, it's bad. But why can't such a person learn? Why can't such a person come into the Beis Medrash? You see that Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah took him in. Why can't such a person come into the Beis Medrash? So perhaps we can explain it with a Gemara in Sanhedrin Daf Pei Tes Amud Beis. The Gemara says, when Avraham Avinu went to the Akedas Yitzchak, Kidmu Satan Laderech, the Satan came to him on the way. Omar Loi, Hanisa Davar V'chulu. He tried to stop him. Why are you going? Hashem said not to. Avram refused. Kevin the Chazah Deloika Shmialei, since the Satan saw that he was not going to be successful to convince Avram not to come. Amalei Satan Avram Avinu. Ve'ilai Davar Yegunav. I heard something stolen. Means he heard something he wasn't supposed to hear. Kach shamati me'achorei hapargod. This is what I've heard them speaking about behind the curtains, in front of the Rabbanu Shalom. Haseh lo'olah. The seh is going to be for a carbon. Ve'ein Yitzchak lo'olah. But Yitzchak is not going to be for the carbon. I heard that. I have inside information. He was trying to discourage Avram Avinu from continuing. Amar Loi, says Avram Avinu, Kach oinshoy shel badoi. This is the punishment of a joker. Shafilu Omar Emes Ein Shaimin Loi. Even when he says the truth, you don't listen to him. You, Satan, you made up a bunch of stories. You try to convince me that I shouldn't go and do the Akedas Yitzchak. Now, you're going to say the truth. And
you want me to believe you?
no.
I'm not going to believe
more.
you.
Yeah,
I'm not going to believe you, even if it's true. You don't deserve.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Why not? I don't understand. If Avraham Avinu knew that the sad Lo'ila B'ni, right? The sad was going to be Lo'ila V'ein Yitzchak. Lo'maloi Shamaloi. Fractor of Shamsham Pinkas. Why didn't he listen to him?
That's right.
This is what Avraham Avinu says to the Satan, according to Rav Shamsham Pinkas. He says, I was commanded to take Yitzchak up for an oilah.
That's it.
What do I care what they're saying in Shemayim? Me'acharei apargad. I heard from Hashem to Shech Yitzchak.
Yes,
It doesn't matter to me what the real reality is in front of the Rabbanu Shalom. But what do you see from the Gemara? Had the Satan come and told him, not lied, and not become abadoi,
well, maybe.
he would have believed him.
Yeah.
He would have believed him.
Yeah.
And he would have had to accept the Satan as a shliach from Hashem, just like he accepted the Malach at the end.
Yeah.
But since the Satan came as a badoi, as a liar, so now I have the right not to believe you.
So you guys.
You might know the MS, but you're not a shliach from Hashem.
Yeah.
And therefore I can ignore the MS.
And he was also trying to convince Yitzchak also not to go. Yeah.
Even if Abadoi says, the MS, says the words of Torah as a shliach from Hashem, it's just a bunch of stories. You can't believe him. It's not Torah. It's not Torah. And perhaps that's the pshat in the Gemara in Brachas. Why didn't Rabbi Gamliel let anybody into the Beis Medrash whose toicha is not kebarai? Because somebody whose inside is not reflected outside, his outside is not reflected his inside,
You can.
even his divrei Torah
Not be the truth.
is not divrei Torah. Even if he says truth, you don't have to believe him. It's an incredible thing. It's true that if a person lies, it's an Vayera. And sometimes it's even permitted to lie. But when a person becomes a liar, he becomes a vessel that's empty, that's plugged. That divrei Torah can't even go inside.
Plugged up.
Let's try to understand the idea of sheker on a deeper level. There's an amazing michtav in Michtav Melio, an amazing letter in Michtav Melio at the end of Chelak Hey, letter Yotes. He writes, Yeshua la b'ni chavivi. He writes to his son Yehoshua la, Hayoim ola b'libi dover chadash v'nifla. Today, I had a chiddush, and a gewaldige chiddush. Kosav haRamban al vayivez Esav es bechora. The Ramban writes that vayivez Esav es bechora. Esav, we're going to learn in Parshas Todos, when Yaakov Avinu bought the bechor, it says in the pasuk vayivez Esav es bechora. He lessens the chashivus of bechora in his eyes. He says, Ki Achzorius told us habizui. Achzorius is an offset of bizui. V'yadua, it's well known in science that the reason why an animal doesn't harm a human being, but he will harm another animal, is because if you see him like a human being, you can't harm him. Ein chaya dereses adam im loy siro sakabehim. Right. The only time an animal will trample a human being is if he thinks he's an animal. If he knows he's a human, he's not going to trample him. Right? The people, like before the Civil War, that they used the slaves, they treated them chosh from the brum shvelim, shartas. They thought that they were brum shvelim, and therefore they felt they can treat them that way. It wasn't that they were just able to treat human beings in a certain way. They first have to intellectually consider them mivuzeh. Right? How did the Germans, Yimach Shemam, kill the Jews? Right? They first had to consider them an inferior race, and then they can kill them. Person can't become cruel until a person completely wipes away the cheshivas of his friend. Similarly, it is impossible to cheat or to lie unless he completely denigrates his friend in his eyes, in his heart. He considers his friend, he's not chashuv at all, he's not even here, who cares? And then I can treat him as if he's not here. An amazing chiddush. How can a person lie to someone? How can a person become a liar? Only if he considers
inferior,
his friends as inferior, as less than him. Then you can lie. Because you can't be an achzar, you can't be nasty to someone unless you consider them inferior.
Yeah.
He says, Sheker, he told us Hagaiva. This is how Sheker, lying, has told us Hagaiva, his haughtiness. When a person is Baal Gaiva, that's when all the shkarim come. But somebody who loves his friends, truly, he won't be able to cheat them. You can only steal from someone if you consider him nothing. If he's nothing, then he doesn't own anything, and therefore I can take it for myself. Because pirud, separation, denigration, v'sheker haynu hach, it's the same thing. Right? That's how do people become separate? Because you denigrate somebody. When a person sees himself and nobody else, so that's kfirah. Is because you have to see everybody, not just yourself. A person lies. When does a person become a liar? When he is out for himself. When he's selfish. When he considers everybody else's need as nothing. And when can a person be misgaber and tell the truth? When he's machshav other people.
So Sarah wasn't considered a liar when they said, but you laughed.
She shouldn't, that's what Hashem was saying. She shouldn't have laughed, but
she's not a liar because she didn't do it repetitively.
Exactly.
She just did it once.
No, for Shalom, Hashem, she didn't do it. Hashem, she didn't lie. But she said, "Vadoni v'lkan." Hashem misspoke because Kaviyachol.
Just left it out. No, he changed it.
Let's try to understand it even on a deeper level. Where does Sheker come from? Speech.
Yeah.
Wind that comes out of a person's mouth.
Yeah.
Wind that comes out of a person's mouth. Isn't there an expression like it's just wind?
It's hot air.
Stop blowing hot air.
Stop blowing hot air.
Stop blowing hot air.
Yeah.
Okay? Stop blowing hot air. It comes from a person's mouth.
Yeah.
What else comes out of a person's mouth? Ruach, wind. Mimalala, that speaks. Who is the Ruach Mimalala?
Man.
The Neshama.
Man.
Vayipach bi'apav nishmas chayim. When Hashem blew,
That's Uncle.
man the nafach medilei nafach. When Hashem blew, He blew from Himself. Excelum Elokim, that each and every person has, is found in his mouth. When a person misspeaks, repetitively, consistently, he's taking that neshama that Hashem gave it to him and smashing it down on the floor into smithereens. He's blowing hot air, not neshama.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When a person speaks emes, he's acknowledging the Rabbanu Shalom. How is he acknowledging the Rabbanu Shalom? He's saying, I am a chelek Elokai mimal. If I'm a chelek Elokai mimal, and chosama shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu is emes, then I'm only a chelek Elokai mimal. But so are you, and so are you, and so are you. You're all Tzelem Elokim, and therefore I have to respect you, and therefore how could I harm you, and how could I speak false? But when a person misunderstands that and says, no, I'm in it for myself, then already he's not a Tzelem Elokim anymore. He's not a Chelek Elokai Mimal. He doesn't acknowledge that everybody else is a Chelek Elokai Mimal. And therefore he's just full of hot air.
There is another expression that when the wicked people murder that, the Shemai doesn't get in, it's remain in a nose, it doesn't go inside. And I don't know what one of the from Asurim, when Hashem burned him totally because Neshama wasn't. Yeah, probably not before. There was one general that was with 10 tribes that fight before.
Sancheriv.
Sancheriv.
Yeah.
The pasuk says, "Mi'aisha chafetz chaim." Who is the person that wants life? Person wants life. What does it mean? And in Torah it only says, why is David HaMelech saying, who is the one who wants life? So perhaps it means something a little bit different. Who is the person who wants to realize that he's alive, that he has a neshama tahira, that he's a chelek Elokai mimal, mi'isha chafetz chaim, netzor l'shem chamera. And similarly, when we say Elokai netzor l'shani meira, right? Elokai at the end of Shemona Esrei, netzor l'shani meira sasai medaber mirma. Right? What does it say right afterwards? If a person, first I daven that the Rabbanu Shalom should watch my mouth from speaking lies. And then I have anava. Right? Because I'm speaking the truth, and I'm humble. I'm not lying, and I'm not about gaiva. Then then I have the right to ask, open up my heart, because only a person who is emes, toiche kibaroi, can come into the Beis HaMikdash, to the Beis HaMikdash. In Mikdav Eliyahu, there's another shtickle.
Oh gosh.
We'll end with this. It says in Tehillim, Eine b'ne'emone eretz l'sheves imadi. Eini, my eyes, b'nemnei aretz, the trustworthy people of the land, l'sheves imadi, to sit with me. What's Eini? What's Eini? My eyes. What's the eyes of Hashem? Tamid Eini Hashem Elokecha ba, Bereshis Hashana v'ad achar shana. So that's in the Torah, right?
The eyes of Hashem.
Eini Hashem Elokecha ba.
Eretz Yisrael.
What is that? Hashgacha pratis. That Hashem watches every single thing that happens to everybody. Mikotan v'ad gadol Hashgacha pratis. Divine providence. Eine, where are my eyes? To who has Hashgacha pratis? B'nemene oretz. B'nemnei aretz, to the trustworthy people of the land, b'ne'emanim. But doiver shkarim lo yikein leneged einai. But doiver shkarim will not lo yikon leneged einai, will not be held in front of my eyes. Ki loy, says the Miftam Eliyah of Dessler, ki loy shayech hashgacha protis l'doiver shkarim. It's not shayech to have divine providence for somebody who speaks a lie. When a person believes that Hashem is involved in every single thing that happens to him, but not for dover shkarim. The kol shekain, and he says, and this is very important, mi shemargish shkarim b'metzias, somebody who, when he lies, he thinks it really did happen.
Convince yourself.
You convince yourself. Yeah. You don't have to even convince yourself. You just say it, and all of a sudden it's
rational lies.
Yeah, it's just there. You said it. It's there.
The more you say, the more
you say, the more you convince.
Yeah.
There's no hashgacha pratis. Why is there no hashgacha pratis? Because a person who's dover shkarim, he doesn't acknowledge his friend. If he doesn't acknowledge his friend, what he's saying is that he's not a cheluk elokai minal, because not everybody else is a cheluk elokai minal. He's saying, when I speak, I don't speak with a ruach mim'alallah. I speak with hot air.
Hot air.
Hot air. And therefore, it's not shaykh to him, hashgacha pratis. We learned last week that in the end of Parshas Noach, that, right, it says Vayomas terach v'charon, and the nun in Charon was a backwards nun, and ad Avram haya charoin af. There was charoin af.
Anger in the world.
And I set up shat, perhaps, that I realized that when Avram Avinu was medayik from a medrash, when Avram Avinu realized that the Rabbanu Shalom, that there was a Rabbanu Shalom, what did he realize? Not that Hashem created the world; everybody knew that. He realized that there was hashgacha pratis, that Hashem is involved in every single aspect of our lives, and He's not too great to be involved in every little prat that we do. But the people before him didn't believe that. Hashem's too great for that.
Yeah.
They couldn't believe that.
His
right?
business up.
So says Rashi, Ad kan charan af ba'olam, Ad Avram charan af ba'olam. What does that mean? That taka, when Avram Avinu came into the world and started believing in Hashgacha Pratis, there was Hashgacha Pratis.
Yeah.
When the people didn't believe in Hashgacha Pratis, what was there? Charan af.
Yeah,
there wasn't Hashgacha Pratis. And it seems to be accurate from the Michtav Meliyahu as well. You see that it's shaykh that a person shouldn't have hashgacha pratis if he's dover shkarim. Somebody who doesn't believe in the Rabbanu Shalom, even though it's a subconscious kind of a vart. Nobody consciously says, I don't believe in hashgacha pratis, but I'm prepared to lie. You people lie because they lie. Because it's easy, because they can get away with it, because they're trained to do that, because they've done it a million times. It's difficult.
Because it's also,
but we have to believe, and we have to know that the shkarim have a profound impact on us, and they don't allow us to learn, and they don't allow for hashgacha pratis, and we become people that we're not supposed to be. This week, we know that there was tremendous devastation and destruction in neighborhoods that are very Jewish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
People lost
a lot.
Homes.
Life.
Their objects. People.
Cars,
tens and tens of thousands of dollars of damage.
$20 billion.
20 billion. Okay, well, that's low. I'm talking about the people. Every person lost. And the insurance companies are not going to
almost 100
pay
people
for
died.
it. What are we supposed to learn from such a Maisa? Just happen to be? Let's go on with our life? Isn't this recurring? Isn't this kind of like happening again and again?
Yes.
I remember when the earthquake and the tsunami came.
Yes.
So we learned the Gemara in Bereshis at the end. The Gemara in Bereshis says, remember the Gemara? The Gemara says over here, you're supposed to make a bracha on these things, right?
Yeah.
So the Gemara says, here, my zavois or zoyos amra katina guha. What are zavois? Or the Mishnah says that you're supposed to make a bracha. Isamas Bereshis. Praise the Rabbi Shalom. You have zavois, zoyos. Amar Rabbi za'afa. What is a za'afa? Za'apa. What is that? Rashi says subterbail.
Oh, superbile.
You know what a subterbail is? A whirlwind.
A whirlwind?
A whirlwind.
A whirlwind. Okay.
A whirlwind?
Yes.
A whirlwind.
Like a tornado.
Whirl.
Like a tornado.
What did we have?
Hurricane.
Hurricane.
Similar.
What's the difference between a tornado and
a tornado's in the middle of the land,
it, right?
and a hurricane's in water.
But you connect, both of them are the same.
Yeah, both of them have a huge twirling thing.
Okay, so that's real.
Funerals.
Because it was giant. It was like 1,500 miles.
500, yeah.
1,500 kilometers from me.
Yeah. And they moved very slow.
Yeah.
It went
Still
slow.
raining. 6 days in a row.
But no,
The Gemara doesn't say why you have ruchos.
Right.
I guess it's then left up to our interpretation.
Yeah.
But perhaps one can say that the Rabbi Shalom is B'tzar. His children are B'tzar, we're in Golos. But he can't take us out. So there's an expression of his tsar, of a sigh, a guha, or shtei dmos, or whatever it is. Tidal waves, floods. Teva flips itself up. It's a sign that the Rabbi Shalom is B'tzar. But why can't he take us out? And perhaps we have to look at ourselves with some self-introspection and say, have we been completely truthful with our ruach?
Beautiful.
And if we can, then the Rabban Shalom will look down on us and say, my people, my children are B'tzar, but they're trying. And he will bring us Mashiach to the kingdom here.
Amen.
Amen.